Two different peoples were buried in the exact same tomb, centuries apart, and shared no blood at all. Whatever happened to the first people who built it, the second people who used it never knew them. 50 kilometers north of what is now Paris, Stone Age farmers raised a monument meant to last forever. They called it home for their dead. A long stone gallery grave built to hold generations of the same families. Archaeologists later found the remains of 132 people sealed inside that single tomb. Careful genetic testing on every single skeleton revealed something nobody studying the site expected to find. The burials fell into two separate waves, centuries apart, with total silence at the tomb in between. The first wave of burials ran from roughly 3200 to 3100 BC, Stone Age farming families. Then, for several hundred years, nobody was buried there at all. The tomb simply went quiet. When burials resumed around 2900 BC, the researchers expected to find the same families returning. Instead, the DNA told a completely different story, one with a genuinely unsettling twist. The people in the second wave of burials were not descended from the people in the first at all. To understand why that's so strange, you have to meet the first people who actually built this tomb. They were part of a farming culture that had spread across northern France and into Germany for generations. They built with timber and stone, wove cloth from plant fiber, and shaped tools from flint and bone. Their dead were buried together, generation after generation, inside the same great stone gallery grave. But something was already going wrong in this community before the long silence at the tomb began. An unusually high number of the people from this first period had died young, researchers found. That's the kind of pattern you'd expect from disease, famine, or some other slow-building crisis. And buried in the teeth of several of these individuals, scientists eventually found a genuine clue. Ancient pathogen DNA, consistent with early plague, was recovered from a number of these Stone Age remains. It's tempting to call plague the simple answer, but the researchers are far more careful than that. I can't yet say whether plague caused the collapse or was just a symptom of a population already failing. Whatever the exact trigger, something genuinely devastating happened to this community around 3000 BC. This wasn't an isolated case. The same pattern shows up across a huge stretch of Europe. Cemeteries across France, Germany, Scandinavia, and Britain fell quiet around this same window of time. Farmland that had been cleared and worked for generations was slowly reclaimed by forests. Settlement counts across the whole region dropped sharply, a pattern archaeologists call the Neolithic decline. For years, this decline was a known pattern without a clear cause. A continent quietly emptying out. The tomb at Bury is one of the first places detailed enough to actually show what followed the decline. because centuries later, this same tomb was opened again by people who could not have known its history. These newcomers weren't distant descendants slowly rebuilding. Genetically, they were simply not the same people at all. Their ancestry traced back strongly to southern France and the Iberian Peninsula, far from this valley. Something had drawn, or pushed, an entirely new population hundreds of kilometers north into this empty land. When they arrived, they didn't just resettle the land. They reused the very same tomb as their own. But they didn't bring the same customs with them. Their burial traditions looked noticeably different. The tight, generations-deep family burials of the first community gave way to a looser, more mixed practice. It's a small but telling detail. Not just new people, but a genuinely different way of honoring the dead. This second community used the tomb for centuries, from roughly 2900 to 2450 BC. They lived, farmed, and buried their dead here for longer than the first community ever managed. And their presence here lines up with a much larger wave of migration reshaping Europe at the time. This was an era when new populations from the south and east were resettling huge parts of the continent. The old farming culture that raised the first stone monuments was, in many places, simply gone. And that disappearance may finally explain one of archaeology's oldest, most stubborn mysteries. Why did Europe's great age of megalith-building, the dolmens, the standing stones, suddenly come to an end? For a long time, nobody could say for certain why the giant stone monuments simply stopped appearing. This new research offers a genuinely striking answer. The monument builders themselves may have vanished. As the researchers behind the study put it, the monuments stopped when the people who built them did. It's not that later Europeans simply lost interest in building giant stone tombs and monuments. It's that the specific culture, knowledge, and tradition behind them may have genuinely disappeared with its people. The newcomers who eventually resettled this land had their own traditions, and building giant tombs wasn't one of them. This is still one tomb, one valley, one small piece of a much larger continental puzzle. The same research team now wants to test other stone tombs across northern France for the same pattern. They also plan to compare their results against burial sites from the same era in Germany. If the same genetic break shows up again elsewhere, this wasn't a local tragedy. It was continental. One quiet tomb near Paris may be rewriting how an entire age of European history actually ended. Two peoples, centuries apart, sharing the same stones, sharing the same ground, sharing no blood at all. Whatever crisis ended the first community's story, it also ended millennia of the exact same way of life. The stones they raised are still standing today, long after everyone who built them was gone